Shalom, shalom, brothers. It's Brother Kamal Mahar here, back at it again. First thing first, we give all praise to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, and qadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders who learn this truth from GMS. Blessing to the Akim there preaching his word, the whole our true sincerity. Blessing to the 144,000 and 1/3 entirely. The first fruits, kingdom of heaven, house of David, the Biaf Dawadah. And shalom to you brothers out there speaking different tongues and looking at different nations. Shalom to you brothers. So today, brothers, man, I came across this thwada from my brother Shalawamia. He sent me this Instagram post where it goes into that the Khazar so-called Jewish people, known as the Israelis, which Israeli means, I believe, something like people who dwelling in Israel, but not actually the true people of Israel. That would have to be an Israelite. And also a true Jew from the tribe of Judah, directly from the bloodline. But what he did was, it was a video showing that the Khazar Jews are actually admitting, or just not, well, okay, I'll say admitting, but they're admitting to the fact that the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Indians, and I don't get into Latinos, Native Indians, but through the spirit we know the Southern Kingdom is, Benjamin, Levi, and Judah, which is Judah's so-called Negroes. Benjamin would be like the Jamaicans and more in the Caribbean islands as well, and along with Haiti would be Levi, would be the Haitians, would be Levi, and also dwelling amongst the little Caribbean islands things. They're pretty much split. But Trinidad, Tobago, Bahamian people, all through those Caribbean islands are just, I would just say where the Southern tribe dwells when it comes to like Jamaicans and like Haitians, or Benjamin and Levi. I'm just gonna say, pretty much that. Yeah, but they were, but hey, at the end of the day though, they know who we are, man. All the other nations, especially the top elites, they know who the children of Israel is. I would say Hitler was a top elite at one point. Hitler was a whole big dog, and he said that, roughly paraphrasing, and I think believe in his memoir that you know what? Let me find that for the sake of the video. This is all about that the other nations are know who we are. Hitler talking about, I'm gonna say God's jewels is what he says. I believe that's what he said. God's jewels. See how this comes up. Let me see. He said he will start after his death. You know what? Okay, this is something that I believe that Deshaun Jackson actually posted what Adolf Hitler said, and he got in trouble for it, but it was still the truth. It was saying Deshaun Jackson highlighted a quote attributed to Hitler and shared anti-Semitic quotes from the Nation of Islam leader Louis Farrakhan in a series of Instagram posts Monday evening. Jackson, who has a 1.4 followers on Instagram, initially posted a screenshot of a quote widely attributed to Hitler, saying among other things, because the white Jews know that the Negroes are the real children of Israel, and to keep America secret, the Jews will blackmail America. They will extort America. Their plan for world domination won't work if the Negroes know who they were. The white citizens of America will be terrified to know that all this time they've been mistreating and discriminating and lynching the children of Israel. Wow, that's a quote from Adolf Hitler. So, that's hard body. You know what I mean? That's like, and you know what? That sounds about right, actually. I made a little statement when one day I was in camp. That's like saying you bullying this little boy, but truth be told, you had no idea that was Debo's little brother. Now, if you knew that was Debo's little brother, you probably would move a little differently. You know what I'm saying? But you don't know it's Debo's brother. So it's like, oh, snap, so you want fair game. Now, just like what Hitler was trying to say, you know, if the white citizens would have known that they're mistreating and doing and God's chosen the children of Israel dirty like that, and they knew that was God's people, they probably wouldn't do it. Let alone Esau do know though on a high end, because remember it says in remember it all started with Jacob and Esau, where Esau's blessing was given to Jacob, right? And then what did he say in matter of fact, it was at Genesis 27, I believe in 40 or maybe. I think it's 40. Nah, that's the let me see. Okay, here we go. Yeah, 41. Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. So what was their whole point? It was because of the blessing. So the top elites know who we are, let alone the world too, pursuant to Psalms 83. Why would, matter of fact, let's get to it. You know, because this video is going into that they know who we are. We just don't know. But Adolf Hitler made a really good point. If we would know, if the white citizens knew that they were mistreating the children of Israel, they would not be doing it. But they don't know, at least from a civilian standpoint. The elites know, but the Joe Smo Edomites don't. Psalms 83, Israelite 101. Why would they say this? It says, for lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they hate thee, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones, which is the Israelites. They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. So why would you, so I keep on going. It says, for they have consulted together with one consent. They are all confederate against thee. The tabernacle of Edom, white people, Ishmaelites, Arabs, Moab, Chinese people, Hagarenes. I saw another brother. I'm not really sure who the Hagarenes are, but I hear a lot of brothers say that they're Africans. But also I heard brothers say something about more Arabs or whatever. I'm not really sure, but I know Gabal is somewhere around there. Ammon is the Japanese. Amalek is the Israelis now, which are the fake Jews at this point. The Philistines are the real Hamites, the Africans. Tyre as well, and the Assyrians also joined to them. They have hoped in the children of Salah. Now, if the other nations didn't know who we are, then why would the nations come together in one consent to try to get rid of us in our name? Right? Why would they go so hard to try to get rid of us? What's so special about us that we don't know by ourselves? And why did you want to do that in the first place? But for the sake of the verse in this particular chapter is the fact that because they did that, they know who we are is the point, right? So that makes a lot of sense. I'm gonna put this on do not disturb. Right? So that's proof right there, right? Now let me just get to this video before I saturate the situation. You know, this video right here was right here. So I'm gonna let this play, and also for the YouTube, I'm using this as copyright. And for copywriting purposes, I don't own this. It's an Instagram post that anybody can share, anybody can use for wherever they want to. Instagram is what you can do. If there's a post on Instagram, obviously you can take the post and reshare it to your particular page to show more people, etc., etc., etc. So it should not be no flags or anything negative from where I freely have an opportunity to take a post and use it for myself like everybody else does. Just throwing that out there. It says, spoken from a Khazar, which a Khazar will be those Amalekites now, or Israelis that live in the land of Israel today, who say they are chosen people of God, and they're the Jewish people, right? But it says, spoken from a Khazar, one of them, their own. The Israelites never have been Caucasian. Okay, let's see what he got to say.
Show this. We're going to use this next part. We're going to use art and archaeology Even the Pope prays to a black baby Jesus. George Friedman, in his book, The End of Jewish People, pointedly states that Europeans claiming to be Jews are nothing more than Hebrew-speaking Gentiles. The late president of Egypt, Jamal Abdel Nasser, stated on television, you Jews, will never be able to live here in peace because you left black and came back white. We cannot accept you. Now look, everybody in the Middle East knows that these people that are occupying Palestine are imposters, and that's part of the reason why everybody's so upset with them over there.
Wow, that's powerful. So not only did he just say that we're the Israelites, but everybody in the Middle East knows it too. So that means the Americanized Jewish people don't have no clue, but the people who actually really live there has a clue. Interesting. Sounds like Babylon for you right there. It definitely does. This is the book of Jeremiah. No, I'm gonna go to Revelations. You know what? Nah. I'm starting Jeremiah. It's Jeremiah 16. It's actually one of my favorite chapters of Jeremiah. 16, and I believe it's 18. It says, okay, it says, this could be twofold as well. But no, it's not. It's straight to the point. It says 18, and first I will recompense their iniquity and their sin double, right? Because they have defiled my land, they have filled my inheritance with the carcasses of their detestable and abominable things, right? It says, O Lord, Yahawashi, my strength and my fortress and my refuge in the day of affliction, the Gentiles shall come unto thee from the ends of the earth and shall say, surely our fathers have inherited lies, vanity, and things wherein there is no profit. Right. And that's going to happen very soon, let alone the people who, so I will look at it like this. People who don't know that they're Israelites is going to definitely know that is going to definitely know they're imposters at some later point. And mind you, they're generations up. So by being generations up, their fathers have told them that they're God's chosen people, so they believed it. You know, and then they obviously, surely our fathers have inherited lies, vanity, and things wherein there is no profit. Like, for example, they have no idea. Some of them don't, like, but majority of them do. But hey, at the end of the day, though, remember what Hitler said. If the white citizens knew that they had the children, that they were mistreating the children of Israel, they would not be doing it, right? But hey, that might be fine and dandy, but look at this in Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter, on how this goes, on how they get a rude awakening, because there's a future prophecy where they're going to get a rude awakening on the fact that they realized that they had fucked up. Wisdom of Solomon 5 and 1. I started 5. Started 1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as afflicted him, and made no account of his labors. We're doing that right now. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all they look for. Because when, Lord willing, I could be a part of that number, because when the Israelites, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Indians, even people who look other nations that are Israelites through the Spirit are going to get beamed up. But majority of the beam up is going to happen in America. And Negroes are Negroes, you know, as far as face value. You know, Negroes are Negro looking, Latinos so-called are Latino looking, Mexicans look Mexican looking so-called, and Dominicans and on down, Colombians, they all got their specific distinct look, unless you know, Israelite brother had knocked up a white girl, and then that seed line wanted more white girls. Next thing you know, the seed line looks pure white, but it's totally Israelite from boy to boy to boy to boy. Okay, cool. At the end of the day, though, I'm not talking about that right now, but through the Spirit, they will get beamed up as well if they're part of the elect. But I'm talking about the actually identification, you know, as far as like, you know, what a typical Negro looks like, a typical so-called Indian look like, Seminole or Native, or it's typical Ephraim, Puerto Rican, or a typical Dominican, Simeon, you know, typically, like the way they look normally. You know, what they're going to say is, and they repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit shall say within themselves, right? This was he whom we had sometimes in derision and a proverb of reproach. We fools accounted his life madness and his end to be without honor, right? Because they look at us like we ain't shit. But in reality, when this day comes, they're going to be like, oh, snaps. So you mean to tell me I whipped and beat and killed children, and I enslaved, and I didn't give loans, and I made it hard for them, and this whole time I did that to God's real people? Oh shit. Like I said, there's going to be a point in time where they're going to know that they had mistreated Debo's little brother, if you can receive it. And then when you find that out, you going to be scared as hell, right? And it says, now, mind you, the fifth verse is the most logical response that you can actually give in this position. It says, how is he numbered among the children of the Most High, and his lot is among the saints? Because it's like, we look like we nothing. Not to mention, we've been brought down by our power, Yahawashi, but at the end of the day, though, they know who we are, or the low levels don't, but the higher ups do. So now we so brought down low that is like, how can God's people be can be brought down so low? If you God's chosen people, it makes sense to be rich. It makes sense to have wonderful lands. It makes sense, but they're in the trick bag of knowledge that they don't understand that we're this low because we sinned against our power and broke that covenant with Yahawashi. They don't quite know that on the Joe Smo, Edomite, other nation, Gentile perspective. You know what I'm saying? They just got the Christianity part from the, they got the white Jesus. They got the, they got the Christianity, slave Christianity that they created. That they actually go by still, and got our people all in it, whatever. But they got this prosperity doctrine that is just like all lies to them. But at the end of the day, though, they have no idea they have no idea that they have nothing to do with the Bible at all. When it comes to law, statute, commandments, and the commandments in general, ain't got nothing to do with them. But they're using the Bible all the time like they a part of it. When it says love your neighbor, it was talking about love a fellow Israelite, which are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Indians, which the Middle East just said that this Khazar said the whole Middle East knows that who we are. We just don't know, and Joe Smo Pat Babylonians don't know. The elites know, but the Babylonians don't know. You see that? You see that? That's how this goes. And right? And look at this. 6. Here's the point. Here's the shocker of that moment. Therefore have we erred from the way of truth, and the light of righteousness have not shined unto us, and the sun of righteousness rose not upon us. You see that? So they in churches, they think they can pray, but in reality, it's not for them. This video is not to go on that aspect, but it's just the fact that the Joe Smo Babylonians don't know what they're doing, and they in a trick bag, but the fact is, though, they treat us like shit, not knowing what Hitler stated. And the Middle East knows. So can you imagine if a lot of the nation was to mix and breed all the time, and we get information, they'd be like, I'm willing to bet you that if 90% of the population of the Gentiles at this point that live over here and had a clue that we are the chosen people of Israel, they'd be bet money. Hey, how you doing, sir? You need a loan? You can have whatever you like, because they got an idea now, but they don't. And hey, Yahawashi got it set up like this, probably obviously for a reason, so that way this prophecy can be fulfilled, because they're going to get a rude awakening at the end of this thing. It says 7. We wearied ourselves in the way of wickedness and destruction. Yeah, we have gone through the deserts where there lay no way, but as for the way of the Lord, we have not known it. We have not known it. It's like, damn, this whole time I was doing all this for no reason. And then I was treating people that's really the children of Israel like shit, thinking that they are not shit and they never gonna be shit. And truth be told, they are the chosen people of God himself. Wow. That's a hard pill to swallow. I'm not even gonna hold you. Like, I can give a damn about them Edomites. I don't give a, going into slavery, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. But I'm not going to hold you. I'm just going to look at it from a specific perspective. That's a hard pill to swallow when you bullied Debo's little brother for all this time. You hit him in the face. You slapped him up. You stole his clothes. You made him, you butt braked him. You did all this crazy stuff just to find out that was Debo's little brother. That's a hard pill to swallow, man. And then Debo find no, you know what? I'll put it to you like this. Make it even worse when you go through the spiritualness of it. Debo, no. But Debo actually, instead of just being carnal and actually, doing something about it right now, he let you run that tab up so that way he can get full justification to do whatever he want to you when the time comes back. And let's just say, matter of fact, nah. I'm gonna go carnal with it. Let's just say Debo in jail, but he got eyes everywhere, letting him know what's going on every step of the way. But you don't know that's Debo's little brother. But you've been bullying him for 5 to 10 years, and now we're in the 10th year where Debo about to get out, and he knows that the last 10 years his brother been going through hell, and you don't know that's Debo's little brother, but Debo know everything you did. Whoo! What you think Debo gonna do when he come back to rescue his little brother that you didn't know? It's gonna sound like Wisdom of Solomon 5. It is. It's going to sound just like it. Revelations. Ooh, man, Esau, you have no idea the trouble that you are in. The pride you got and how you move, you have no idea what's really about to happen. Man, look, I'm going to say slavery, but the type of slavery that Esau going to get into, man, it's going to be the worst thing that ever happened to a human race and mankind history. I mean, Daniel 9:12 talks about us, but it's going to be a whole new history book where the worst atrocity that a human race has ever experienced was the Edomites in the kingdom of heaven. We're going to be reading about the experiences that Esau had to experience in the kingdom of heaven. And it's going to be the most horrifying, most terrible thing to read in human history coming up in the future. After 1,000 years, and there's books being read about the Edomites, people are going to break down and want to cry on what happened to them. And it's going to be all righteous because what they did to the children of Israel. Revelations 2:9. It says, I know thy works and tribulation and poverty. Now, Israel over there, Israel can't be the real people because they're not in tribulation, nor they're in poverty. As a matter of fact, they're direct allies with America, which they get a lot of bread every year. They got military, they got banks, they're rich, they're the top lawyers, they're the top bankers, they got everything. Why? They're Amalek, man. They're the grandson of Esau. They taken care of. They the top of the food chain. And it says, but thou art rich. We rich in faith. And also, we rich also because we about to inherit the blessing of the kingdom of heaven. Spiritual bodies, all that. We rich as shit right now and have no idea. We're like a homeless guy. The Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Indians, are like the homeless guy who doesn't know that they're about to inherit it. $67 billion trust fund from a family that's been looking for him the entire time. And then one day finally run into him and find out that their loving sibling who is inheriting and is the rightful heir of all this money was living behind a dumpster for all this time. And then somehow we found him, and then he went from rags to riches in a matter of a day. Boy, signed that signature, and it was a $67 billion man. That's exactly what's about to happen to the Israelites. And it's going to flip with the Edomites to the Edomites from the Israelites. I know thy works in tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. Wow. Amen. I think 3 and 9 say the same thing. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee. What did Wisdom of Solomon 5 just say? Right? That they had, wow, like they was in a position where they like, God, I can't believe I did this. And they're the ones for real, and we're not. And what did Jeremiah 16 say? That the fathers inherit lies? Right. And what I just tell you, they're going to go from rag to riches, right? Right, but then again, what does it say? It says, I will make them to come and worship before thee, before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee, right? Remember, Romans 9:13 says, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated, right? As it's written, right? So, not to mention, it's like a slap in the face, because they know who we are. You know, I'm giving the proof. I gave the little videos. They know who we are. But but their pride is so crazy. The Lord going to bring them down so bad. It's a horrible thing to have such pride and to believe in something of your pride and to know it is not what it is. Do you know how devastating that is to believe something so crazy and it wasn't real or true? You might want to commit suicide with that. You just might want to, man. You what? And not to mention, they think that we ain't nothing. They think we nothing. And they think we monkeys and 3/4 of a man, which they know who we are at the end of the day. And they've been winning all this time, right? And they despise us, right? How devastating would it be for a man that you despise and you look at as a peon to you, which Esau's a base man, but hear me out. Imagine somebody you hate so bad and you roll over them and you hate them, and then out of nowhere the tables turn where you're a prisoner in their world, and the person you hate the most you can't beat or stop from messing with you like you mess with them, and you can't even stop it. Like it's gonna continuously keep happening no matter what you want, what you say, or how you cry about it. You hate this person and despise them. If you can kill them, you would love to, but this person is dominant over you and you can do nothing about serving the person you hate. You gotta get beat down by the person you hate. You gotta get told what to do by the person you hate. Can you imagine? You hate this person to their soul, and they say, get your ass up and give me some plate of food or else, and you gotta do it. Times that by 30 billion trillion and forever in the kingdom of heaven, how this thing's gonna flip. And they know who we are. I brought this It's edifying to you, brothers. We give all praise to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, and qadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders on this truth from GMS. Blessings to the Aki, my dear, preaching his word, whole true sincerity. Blessings to the 144,000, 1/3 entirely, the first fruits, kingdom of heaven, the house of David, the Biaf, that would die. And shalom to you, brothers out there speaking different tongues and looking different nations. Shalom to you, brothers. We almost out of here.